Welcome. I don't know what's wrong with me, but welcome to the update of building your directory in 5 steps. It's been a month since the last step was published, and some of you went so far to find me on Instagram and demand that I send an update and I publish an update on what has happened. If you've been following, what has happened is basically nothing this last 4 or 5 weeks. So I'll explain you why, and I'll explain am I aiming to do later, and what's the only way I see this viable. But let's go through the 5 steps, and this was just for anyone who was interested in creating a directory and hopefully making that a revenue source, an extra revenue source from anything that it's your full time job or gig or doing. It has a lot of potential depending in which industry, in which application you're doing. But if your whole objective is just to make money with it, I don't recommend just doing a directory for it. I think there might be many better ways to create an online business and an online source of capital. A directory could be a way, and it could be a great way to get an extra income. Or if you're doing consulting, it could be a great way of doing leads or creating leads for your business. A directory is also one of the things that a lot of companies in the past used to do, and they currently do it as well, to create like a marketing channel, the same way that a lot of companies are doing their own podcast in their subject. Like there are so many companies launching their own podcast or whatever. It's basically creating, or their social media or whatever, it's basically creating another way to get leads, or yeah, leads or interest or clients for their product or services. So whatever you are, maybe you're consulting in something specific, and maybe that's what you can do. And I was actually playing with it because in the past I was doing some consulting here and there for some of my people that I knew and that had businesses, and they were struggling trying to integrate AI into their business. And they're small businesses, and they were falling behind. Like, but there's so many apps. What do I put in? And like, wait a minute, don't implement anything that you don't actually need. So I decided to create a directory for small businesses, basically, of AI tools that would be relevant for small businesses, that they could filter based on their specific needs, whether it's marketing, HR, wellness, finance, solutions, accounting, this, that, creative writing, whatever it is. And they could just find them specific and only listing apps that would be relevant for small businesses. Anyways, that was the idea, and that was an issue. If that's the first step, the next step I published was about finding the platform you're going to publish it at. Right, the first one is find your niche and buy a domain, and the second one is build it. And there are some platforms that already have it in place, so you don't really have to build it from scratch yourself. And the third one is creating the database. So if you're an expert in the subject, if you're interested, if you're not, like, you're going to have to create database. I also share how I did it with AI, but I do believe that the AI created databases for directories are not going to add that much value, because anyone can just go to either ChatGPT or Perplexity and search for, give me the list of whatever it is, the search or whatever you're doing in your directory at. And like, your directory has to add value either on the experience and how they can filter and find the solution for your target audience, or in the fact that you're only showing the most valuable ones, or the ones that you've tested and people trust you and it's trustworthy. If it's not one of those options, then it's going to be irrelevant anyway, so don't waste your time. And then the fourth one was creating a business model, which is great. And as I mentioned, it can be a great source for leads. A lot of companies use it to create leads, especially when you're doing B2B. So you can do that whether you're doing consulting, or you have a company with a product or service that could serve other businesses. In my case, if it's for small businesses, I could target those people who are subscribing or who are searching or leaving their information there, and I can target them with my B2B business that I have on the side. And yes, so those and I also go through some of the business models around affiliates and advertisement, and what you can do and what you should put in place just in case if it for some reason goes viral and you've got enough traffic and stuff, then those things are going to be relevant. But if you're in a very niche segment, and you're not expecting it to have like thousands or millions of visitors, etc., then affiliates, it's not going to bring you any real relevant revenue. So you should not worry about that unless it doesn't take much time. Then the last one, but the one that I recommend the most and the one that I've seen the most success is creating, um it's like giving for free the search and the service of like, here is a little explanation of what you can do with this, but if you need more and further support, I'm a consultant in this, I'm an accountant in this, I am a legal advisor for this, financial, like depending your directory it is, if you are an expert in the subject, it becomes a very good way of offering like the premium version of the service by giving consulting on that subject. So that I would recommend. And then the last step was to bring traffic. And there's many ways to bring traffic, and we go through some of them. But unless your directory has specific unique value or a way, an experience that they cannot find just by searching it in one LLM, basically, for example, my directory, I'll show you so you can see. So as you can see, my directory is just like a list of, I just put a few, and I was going to add one per week. And you can search, okay, I want to see only for e-commerce, and it's going to show you the apps and tools for e-commerce that use AI for improvement. I just want something for HR. Okay, you've got the productivity. So that's it. It's like a filtering thing. But the value, the actual value that would make this special or relevant would be that I would have here, and here is just a form. But imagine if instead of a form, it would be like you fill in your details as a company. What is your industry? What are your, which areas you need help with, or do you are struggling with, and you can select more than one maybe. What is your business size? And instead of me asking you for your email, because this is just a lead generator to get leads of companies looking for solutions like this, and then I can sell them either consulting or some of these apps specifically. But instead of having this, imagine if you answer some questions, and when you click search, you get a personalized list and even plan, which you can do with LLM, structure of these apps should be in these areas. Now we're talking value, right? And it's still just an LLM wrapper. Just it's just simply like an AI wrapper and an LLM wrapper, like they call them. So you're still using a normal LLM to power this search, basically. But that would add more value in the experience, right? And it's not in the data. It's not how it's organized. It's basically it's filtered data that you've certified is good, and second, the user interface and the user experience, where the user and the company, the small business in my case, is going to arrive and feel like basically this is like the first version of consulting. Because if you cannot afford to pay a consultant to come into your business, analyze all your business and understand where are the biggest opportunities for you, and go and research what are the apps that are most relevant to solve your specific problem in each of those areas that you have the biggest opportunities at, then if you cannot afford that, this would be the option, right? Having a form where you like you input your personal information or your business information, and it gives you an overview of like, okay, if this is your biggest issue, can be solved with this app, and this is that, and just like let me know if you want to reach out and implement. And now we're talking value. But just a directory just like that, it's not going to add that much value, nor it's going to go anywhere in my perspective. What do you think? I would like to hear your thoughts on this. So I did. There's a reason why I didn't touch the directory, didn't do more effort. I don't know if you remember in one of the, I think the last video I shared, like, oh, we have to create SEO and put like a deeper website. And those are like very small improvements that are going to bring a little bit more traffic. But unless the website and the app or the service, the company is giving some value to these companies, it's just going to be another landing page that's not going to create much value. If you use social media and you're very good at doing marketing, which is constant work, it's not just like passive, you're going to have to be creating content and all those things, then you might get some leads, and but it's not going to be so impactful, nor it's going to be passive. So my update basically is, unless I get a partner who's willing to work hard in this and creating this experience that I'm explaining here, which gives a lot of value to users, to small companies figuring out which AI apps should they implement, or they should just ignore because they're doing okay. Then I'm going to close it. Yes, but that's just my personal perspective and my personal experience. I don't see it as a failure though, because I took it from the beginning as an experience, as a learning, as a process, like going through that. Anyways, I was testing different AI apps, and I was doing this, and anyways, I was doing giving consulting here and there for some companies around the subject. So it was almost like it was not a problem for me to do it. And then I was sharing about it here, so it was fun. But anyways, but to take it from where it is now, which is just a website with list of different AI tools, and I can improve that list, like, and it's going to improve. I can improve that list a lot, and I can make it bigger and better. But that's just going to improve the quality of the directory, and by very gradual way. It's not going to make a big change, especially in the business model or in the business itself. It's not going to be from 0 to the 10,000 within a week if I just add a different company or better information. But but if I create an experience where the businesses can arrive, just answer some questions of their own business and get a customized, personalized for their business solution, and even plan on implementation and stuff, then now we're talking directory. And then the directory should have two options. You should have a way in which you can search for the apps and just the categories and stuff, and a way in which you can just select your business information and get a structured like plan and implementation, which ones you should be using and which ones are completely irrelevant to you. You should not be even distracted by them. And that's a valuable directory. So basically, that's my update. Unless I find a partner who's able to build this with me, I won't be able to spend much time in it, especially since I am spending 120% of my time in Yois and in selling and in making it like bigger and making it profitable this year. So because of that, it's going to be very hard for me to have any mind and focus in this directory. But it does have a lot of potential. And no, I would like to hear which directories, because some of you shared, and I don't want to share your ideas. But if you're open for it, share here. What are your directories about? And I know that a lot of people don't like sharing because they think everybody's going to go and do it, but nobody's doing it. And if everybody's doing it, everybody's doing it like me. I did it. I literally just created a website. So unless I'm able to create something that creates actual value of in the way you may give customized advice and customized reference of which tools a small company should use, and then it gets traction and people use it and it's actually valuable and whatever. Unless that happens, it's just irrelevant. It's just another website. So yeah, I hope it's not uninspiring. If you did a directory, I think most of you didn't even start your own directory. You're just waiting for me. But this should not be a disencouragement for you to not start your own directory. If you are excited about something, you have an idea, just keep in mind that it should be adding some value in the experience. So if your directory is something someone can just search on Perplexity and ask for the sources or on any LLM by itself, then it might not be that successful or valuable. Maybe you're using it for lead ad, but that's that. And second one is be ready to be investing a consistent time on this. It's not going to be passive, which a lot of people thought it was going to be passive, but I mentioned from the beginning this was not passive income source or anything. This was just one of the many things that people are claiming it works. And actually, is John Rush is the guy who's published a lot of this. Yeah, maybe, but he's published himself. He has run like hundreds of different directories, and only 20 of them actually made any money, and only 5 of them made a lot. So just take it as a reference. You would have to be between 100 for you to get 20 that makes something significant. But if you commit to something you really like and you commit for long enough, it's going to work. It's just about how long can you commit to something and how much time can you commit to it. But anyways, I am posting it officially. This is my video sharing it. I'm posting it until there is a clear plan from me or from a partner to make it into something that adds more valuable besides just searching up for different AI tools for small businesses. That's that. Hopefully you stick around and maybe there's another update video sharing I found a partner and this is what we're going to do, and I share here how we do it, and maybe I use Data Button, the AI tool, to build this kind of solutions to make the solution I want to make, and then I publish it. Anyways, maybe. Just saying maybe because I don't want to promise something I might not be able to fulfill. But hopefully you stick around for the other videos as well on the business bootstrap business journal, that I'm sharing all the insights on how we're doing with the business. How did we decide? Why did we decide to bootstrap instead of raise capital? How we're doing? I'm gonna make more around like hiring without having funding. How do you hire people without having like any funding? And it's this the just quick answer is not just giving stocks. People don't fall for that. So that's going to be another episode. But it's interesting, and I think if you're in the entrepreneurial world, it's a very fun thing to just be able to connect and share experiences. Anyways, thank you for watching, and that was the update. Apologies if it was not as inspiring as you were expecting. Hopefully it is.